This is Sudbury Market. It's held every Thursday and Saturday throughout the year and has stood on this site and a little further down the hill for over 1,000 years. That's a long time. Sudbury Market owes its existence to the Anglo-Saxon king Ethelred II, who founded a mint here. The mint brought people to Sudbury, and those people needed to buy and sell food and drink and the essentials and luxuries of life. By 1086, when the Domesday Book was compiled, Sudbury had become a royal borough, which gave its merchants, traders and craftsmen special privileges. Not only has Sudbury produced silk throughout the years, but in the 12th to 13th centuries, Sudbury was one of only 3 East Anglian towns recorded as producing cloth. Sudbury merchants exporting cloth, usually through the port of Ipswich, brought back luxury goods such as wine, silver and spices, as well as essentials such as woad, a plant used for dyeing cloth blue, and alum, which was used to tan leather. The arrival of the Black Death in Sudbury in 1349 had a dramatic effect on the market. In the year 1340, there were 107 stalls here. By the year 1353, there were only 59. The market bounced back though, and those who had survived the ravages of the plague actually enjoyed a higher standard of living. A smaller population meant that workers could demand higher wages and afford a better diet, better clothes and better houses. Market trading had to be carried out during daylight hours in the open air to ensure fair trading. With everything out in the open, it was harder for traders to sell poor quality or adulterated products. The market cross was where the town crier would stand to shout out news, new regulations from Westminster, new orders from the mayor, and other local tidbits such as when the next public whipping would take place. News of all kinds was a vital commodity, and the exchange of it in the marketplace was perhaps as important to the whole community as the food they bought and sold. Sudbury Market wasn't only used for retail, but also manufacture and light industry, so the rubbish from a normal day's business would have been considerable. The buildings in and around the hill included furnaces, slaughterhouses, wool processing yards, and all with the constant passage of assorted livestock like cows and sheep. Once St Peter's Church had been built, houses were erected in front and at the side of it. They belonged, at one time or another, to a clothier, a basket maker, butchers, a glazier, a merchant, a builder, and a tailor. Complaints were a regular feature in the court books about the area around the market, and in 1647, it all became a bit much. One passionate entry in particular demonstrates that it wasn't just the livestock causing problems.
Many brutish people besides the church walls were defiling the same, whereby all passengers, both town and country people going to hear the word preached, have their senses much annoyed by the noisome scents and savours, like persons commonly weeing against the walls. I think anyone doing so and not removing their excrement to a suitable place to be fined or imprisoned at the mayor's instruction.
The marketplace was used as a place for public punishment to ensure the maximum number of people witnessed it. There were stocks and a pillory outside the moot hall where minor offences against public order might land you. As late as 1788, a woman match seller was put in the stocks for being drunk and disorderly. In 1575, it was ordered that there was a specific punishment for couples caught in adultery or fornication. The guilty parties were to be set on a cart and carried about the town, wearing placards on their heads saying what they had done. There was also the Cage, a freestanding building on the crossroads near the Buttercross. This was used to lock people up temporarily and was visible to all market-goers. Prisoners were open to being pelted and soaked with water, and possibly some of that excrement we talked about earlier. But enough talk of poo and punishment. Let's bring things up to date and talk to some of our present market stall holders and find out why they conduct their business here.
When I first started off 57 years ago, I got no money and no nothing, and there was an opportunity to come on the markets, and I took it.
Been on this market for 36 years. I started when I left school, helped me dad, and I've been doing it ever since. Family's been on here over 50 years.
We've had a pitch on here now, I don't know, 40 years as a family, I suppose.
I've been a market trader for about 13, 14 years.
I've been a market trader now for 9 years.
I probably started 3, 4 years of age just playing around. But no, probably got into it about the age of 12 to 14.
I work on the market in summer because this is how I raised my college fees. And that managed me to take me to college and finished university. I work at a local school as a maths teacher now.
I'm new to market trading. Bread has been a part of my life for a long time. And now I sell bread at market, which is great. So I love it.
I like Sudbury Market. It's nice, easy. It's not too much pressure.
I enjoy Sudbury. I enjoy the fact that Sudbury people are very loyal to their market.
It's a way of life, really. It's not really a job, it's a way of life.
I love the interactions. It's a way for me to settle into the area as well, so I get to know the place by meeting the people. And I'm a newbie, but these guys are showing me the ropes all around me.
You've got to be bubbly. You've definitely got to be an early riser. It's not just what you see here, it's what goes on behind the scenes. You've got to have a passion for what you want to do.
And the fact that someone wakes up in the morning on a Thursday or Saturday and says, I'm going to go to Sudbury Market and spend money there, it means a lot. And it's the local economy.
We are all coming from different backgrounds, so I think a market trader is someone who needs to be versatile, who understands people, who can work as part of a team, who wants to contribute to the community, and who wants to showcase what Sudbury is about.
Stick with what you know, be passionate about what you're selling, and I think that will sell itself.
So 90% of our meat we're selling on this stall comes within a 25-30 mile radius of Colchester or Sudbury.
Free range eggs which come from Cornard. My apple juice comes from Polstead. My honey comes from Boxford.
We sell wet fish, smoked fish, shellfish, anything to do with fish really.
So all of our ingredients are sourced locally, and then everything we make is handmade.
Well, we get quite a bit local because I live near Newmarket, and a lot of the villages and that, the fens and that, we go around and pick a bit of stuff up, and then we go to Spitalfield Market 3 days a week.
99% of it comes from Billingsgate Market in London now, so we still get fish from Lowestoft.
Some of it's local, yeah, we do 4 local cheeses, basically made in Suffolk.
I've always worked on the principle, and so have the boys, that if you can make people laugh, then it's easier to take money for them. And it's part of market banter, it's part of market life.
The Cox's fruit and veg up there, they're pretty good at projecting their wares.
I'll be on one end of the store and I'll say to George, I'll shout out, George, these strawberries are organic, and he'll go, no, Dad, they're organic. Have a look at me plums, Mum, they are rather nice. Super peaches and nectarines, all extra large, but with no extra charge. George, these mushrooms, what are they? Organic, you know? Oh, organic now. Oh, right, organic.
Far too timid for that, far too embarrassed for all the shouting and hollering.
We don't barter, we don't do that, you haven't got to do it. We're not trying to sell cheap meat, we're trying to sell good meat.
I think ours is through word of mouth, and we have a online social presence, so we have our social media, Facebook and website.
I think for a successful market you need to have all the basics covered. We're lucky on Sudbury, we've got a really good meat stall, fish stall, fruit and veg.
You need to keep a nice variety of stalls here to keep people interested. New stalls all the time helps.
You've got to sell good stuff. If you sell good stuff, people come back. Because if people come and they buy something they don't know good, they're not going to come back.
Change is important and change is good. People are scared of change, but if you don't change, you become stagnant.
If you've got a good selection and you've got bubbly traders, you've got a good market.
5 things sell something, they're all as important as one another. Price, presentation, product, position, person selling. That's simple. You have the right product at the right price, in the right position, and it's got to be sold by the right person, and it's got to be in the right place.
If anyone can bring something that makes our town unique, I think that's what a market trader should bring to our market.
COVID suddenly appeared in the news, and I wasn't sure whether I wanted to actually stay on the market. I was quite fearful, like I suppose a lot of people were. Sudbury Market and Sudbury Town Council were one of the few markets that actually kept going through the pandemic and the lockdown.
COVID helped us because that brought people to the markets because they'd rather be outdoors, and since then we've kept it for the customers. So we're quite busier now than what we were before COVID.
Actually ended up with some new customers because people were local, didn't travel so far. So yeah, we ended up okay in the end.
We were lucky to trade through COVID, but we put ourselves at risk in doing so. Charlie, through the pandemic, he done the Cox's boxes.
Personally, what I had to do was I had to go and find another job.
When that COVID was on, we were taking treble the money.
And I know some of my customers really well. In fact, a lot of my customers now are very, very good friends.
And then you build friendships as opposed to customers. It's not all about just taking money off of somebody, earning money out of somebody. I've got so many friends now who I've just come from who used to be just customers.
Give them the truth and give them good stuff. And nobody ever says, how good your stuff is, but they'll soon tell you if it's bad.
You have your good customers and you try and keep them. That's how I look at it.
Many years ago, people would go to markets to look for a bargain. I don't think that's the case now. I think people go to the market now to look for quality.
And they're just lovely people. You can't fault the people, so what I call real people.
Come and visit us, because we're only going to get smaller if you don't use us.
Get some young people who want to work, you know, and give them an incentive to work, perhaps month, 2 months free rent to get them going and help them, you know.
I think it's hard because you need to bring the people into the town to keep the market thriving, and obviously with lots of the shops closing, it's really hard to get that trade and get those people here. So it's building your social media presence up to let people know you're going to be here.
We need to make it a bit more vibrant so that younger families are also included, because if there's nothing going on, many people won't come out.
Everybody loves coming to Sudbury, everybody tries, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a good market, one of my favourites.
No market could be a success without its customers, and thankfully these days, they're a little more well behaved than some of our predecessors.
I have vivid memories of the little chap, sort of 4, 5, coming down here with my mother, especially on a market day, and shopping in Sudbury in those days. We're talking about the end of the war. I mean, shopping was a social occasion.
I like coming to the market because it's open air, it's freedom around, and there are independent traders.
Well, I feel as though in some ways it's continuing a tradition which in the case of Sudbury has been here for about 1,000 years or something.
Well, it's very close to where I live and the food is all fresh, and I just think we should support all our local traders, and it's wonderful to keep a market. I think in the year 1300 there was about 120 stalls. I wish there was as many now.
A special day was market day on a Thursday, when all the old farmers came in to go to the corn exchange. And the corn exchange then was a very important part of the farming industry. This is where they came to sell their harvests and to buy, because lots of the stalls in there were sales stalls for other products. It wasn't all grain. And then they had another market at the back, pigs.
I used to come in and buy pigs every Thursday, pigs and cattle in them days, and before that, when my father was alive, he used to come in and buy a lot of poultry. There's a lot of very big poultry market here.
It's quite a busy little market, and there was a pub called the British Volunteer. The buzz with all the farmers in, because it was a social day for them as well as the business day. It was just full of character.
The future of the marketplace and who should use it is always a hot topic. So we talked to Rachel Price, the town centre manager, to find out about some of our current market stall holders and where we are as a town with the future of this special place.
We have very much got our stalwart traders. They've been with us for decades. We're currently running a new trader offer, which essentially is try to attract new traders to Sudbury Market. They do always say how friendly we are, how welcoming, and if they're starting their business from scratch, we really do offer a holistic experience for new traders and that supportive network of business support, essentially. Many of our local businesses, a good example is Painters Cafe, the White Horse. They will use the market traders for their produce. Painters Cafe will come up here, you'll see her early on a Thursday morning with her basket, getting her fruit and veg from Coxie, getting her eggs from Dan, getting her cheese from Tom, and you'll go down there for your slap-up meal, and it will all be local produce that was bought from Sudbury Market. So perfect example of local businesses supporting local businesses. Most people from Sudbury will know about the Sudbury Farmers Market, and that's run by Suffolk Market Events. That's every last Friday here in the centre of town. And that Farmers Market is such a good offer for the town centre, and we're thrilled to have Suffolk Market Events here. We also last year piloted what we call Green Sundays. And Green Sundays is an eco-market. It's really about raising the profile of local businesses, local producers who are doing everything in their power to be more sustainable. It's evolving, and it's evolving organically. And we found through COVID that people still very much need and crave a traditional market, but we're also bringing in elements of those popular markets. So locally grown produce, retro and upcycled and vintage goods, and having that amalgamation of what people love. We're letting the consumer dictate what they want the future of Sudbury Market to be.
So the market is still as vibrant and successful as it was 1,000 years ago. It's difficult to predict the future of anywhere, but we're pretty confident that it would take an awful lot to stop our historic Sudbury Market.